All right, hello. This is me, obviously. I will show it again at the end, so if we would like to stay in touch, that would be great. I'm here mostly to interact and learn. And I did originally thought to start with a little bit of explanation that when some people relax, they look like they hate their life and seem upset. It does happen to me, so if I look like that, but I'll skip it. So I'll go directly into this. Ysoft, we are a Czech-based company. We are in here, we are worldwide. 400 people with offices all around the world. This is only so you have idea and can kind of compare where is your organization and relate to my story. We develop online service. It's B2B. We run it. We also develop enterprise software. This is for the largest companies in the world, and we do manufacture our own hardware. And the core of my presentation, of my message here is how do we organize so we are efficient in this, and specifically go into an example. So first, our optimization goals. Our organization is optimized for adaptability. Adaptability means cost of change. So when there is a market shift, when there is something unexpected, we are asked to change, to reorganize, to just accept and get the change and react to it at low cost. And we also want to focus on scalability because, well, in the end, we want to conquer the world. What do we have? There is one backlog list of customer problems, right? By priority, top down. This one backlog is owned by a product owner. There is 3 guys in product owner community, and there is one that's prominent, that's the PO, senior executive, think Batman. And there is 2 guys like sidekicks. One of them is me, think Robin. Like for the teams, for development teams, we are the PO, all of us. But realistically, we really have one person who owns it. And we have 16 teams. 16 teams who take items from the backlog, who are completely cross-functional feature teams. It means anybody can take any item and deliver it. It doesn't necessarily mean everybody knows everything. It means everybody is willing and able to learn anything and do it. So some teams might be more efficient in some areas of the product, but in general, they really go all from one product. And the 7 people in the team are all software engineers. So there is no business analyst, no QA engineer role, no security expert role, no manager, scrum master, no team lead. I cannot even... All those things happen, so there is leadership in the team, informal. QA is happening in the team. Product they develop is secure, but there are no formal roles. They just split the work in any way that's practical. There is one thing that's implied by this design, and that is 16 teams, and 7 in each. 16 times 7, anyone? A lot. So 16 times 7 people who coordinate their work according to the backlog, which is only organized by 3 guys. So by the system design, we are 100% forced to delegate. Like, we cannot do otherwise. It's impossible. So our goals, organization goals, adaptability, that's one backlog, and that's feature teams. Because what happens when there is a market change? So I go to my backlog, go, and then we add new stuff and move it up. That's it. That's all that has to happen from the prioritization perspective, and this can happen every 2 weeks. That's our sprint. Like at any point in time, we are immediately able to turn around and start doing something completely different, which is more valuable to the company. Like we don't do it that often, but we can. We optimize for it. And scalability, coordination roles at the bare minimum. We are, effectively, there is a rule. If adding twice as many teams means you need more POs, you're doing it wrong. You need to delegate. And it works. So how it works, specifically? I'll take you through our sprint, but first, two more optimization aspects or things that are important. Business understanding and ownership, and I'll explain as we go, because I would like to build a feature here. SunDrive is an online repository where you store files, think Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive. Anybody using SunDrive? Wow, I mean, I made it up. Yeah, this is just a generic thing. I didn't. Good. I'm good you're with me in this. So we work with printers, that's our business. So what we're building right now, so there is a printer, there is a scanner. So I put something in the scanner, touch things on the printer, it goes to the cloud, it's processed, and I see it on my laptop, right? Basic flow. So we will need to develop something to the printer, something to the cloud, possibly something for the workstation. So fairly complex environment, all done by one team, realistically. And this is Hound. Hound is a real team. They are based here in Ostrava in Czech Republic. They agreed, I can use their logo. And they just finished some reliability work. Reliability is a lot of research, a lot of testing, a lot of prototyping, trying things. And they thought, hey, we would like to try something more tangible. That's what they said, tangible. So there are real people who use it, is what they said. And so what they do, they look at the backlog, right? They're looking for work, like within Microsoft. They look at the backlog, and this is our backlog. Number one, it's only one backlog, it's one place. Two, it's in Miro board, it's not in Jira, because our backlog is a collaboration tool. Our backlog is not there for priorities. I'll repeat it because this is important. Our backlog is primarily a collaboration tool. Yeah, there are priorities in there, but the main reason why we have it is so people look at it and collaborate at it. And so how to look at that? They go from top to bottom. What's the most important stuff for the company? They don't find anything where the ramp-up cost wouldn't be too high, so they just go and pick the first one they like, and is at the same point high on the list, right? Scan to SunDrive. They put their logo on there, and by that they are committing to own the problem. They just became a driving team. Driving team means they own the problem. More teams can participate on the solution, more people in general, but they own the problem. They know what needs to be done, and they drive the resolution. And the best way how to show it is our sprint. So we do large-scale Scrum. We have here Jürgen, who helped us to implement this like 4 years ago, and maybe 5. And therefore, sprints, Scrum. Refinements, so the Hound team are responsible to slice and dice the solution, so it does this, right? So we slowly keep delivering value and cross-checking whether we've done it. So it's a responsibility of the team. And whatever they need to make the decision, they do or try. They can talk to me, I can connect them to stakeholders, I can connect them to customers, partners, whatever is needed, just whatever is practical. Refinements are not that cool. I would like to spend more time on sprint planning and then review. That's the coolest. Review. Sprint review is my cross-check point, and it's happening on the planning board, on the product backlog. So this board, Miro board, is alive. Like we constantly change it. It's always kept up to date because we keep looking in there. It's super transparent for everybody. Anybody at the company know what's top priority, and anybody can show up, hey, this doesn't match the strategy, this doesn't match whatever. Like everybody has access there. But let's focus only on this small piece. So this is one line. This is the scan to some drive. That's the business problem that we have there. Let's say that for any reason is the most important right now. So what Team Hound do, they indicate every 2 weeks, every sprint, this is what we will show at the sprint review in 2 weeks. This is what they put there as their goal on the product level. Then, well, we go to the review, and this is about the most exciting part that I would like to talk about. Sprint reviews is where the most business understanding is happening, but and cross-checks with reality. But it wasn't always like that. 4 years ago, sprint review and all this is online. All those events, refinements, planning, reviews, because we're dispersed. So online, 4 years ago, a developer would share their screen and show to 100 people who are there on the review, like the whole R&D. Everybody, well, like it's not mandatory, but people want to know. Like, you know, they work there because they want to. So they want to know. So it's 100 people seeing a guy sharing a screen, and I remember it was a man at that point, he would share the code he typed during the sprint. So then he can show the test results to prove that the typing had value. And this was completely useless for anybody involved. Nobody learned anything, right? Nobody understand what's there. So we went through hoops and loops, and this was like a year of work, all the way that today, Team Hound, they would grab their phone. They grab their phone, they come to the printer, they share the screen from the phone, put the paper in there, and press the buttons, it goes to the cloud, and they show on their laptop that it delivered. And this allows a conversation to happen. Because suddenly I can have a sales guy there, and so, oh, this was cool, but it's like twice as slow as any competitor can do that. And this is valuable, right? We learn something, and we can improve. So reviews really are becoming our coolest cross-check with reality, because we're showing the work. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't as cool as we wanted, and we started looking for how to improve. Engineers did. And engineers, teams, gathered, and they came with 3 things. How they say, this is how or when we say the review was good, this is what was there. Number 1, we had the right people. So I'm not showing performance backend clusters, syncing thingies to a sales guy because, like, obviously there is nothing they can share, right? But they would show them the scanning because, yeah, then they know they can sell it, and that's valuable, and they probably have some knowledge. So the right people are on the meeting. We are discussing the business problems. We learn from the customers effectively. Is the second most important thing. And the third, if we don't change anything after the review, it was a status meeting, it could have been an email. So realistically, we have to really focus on changing things based on the review. If we don't do that, it was not time well spent. And so we started looking for how do we achieve it, right? We started experimenting, and this is a great coffee talk. Yeah, I got still a lot of coffee, so we can discuss plenty of options. And the last invention that I would like to point out is hands-on review. And this is one of those things that are so obvious that it's hard to say as a big invention. So yes, when people actually try things, when they can type at the printer themselves, the conversation that it creates is much more valuable than when they just watch the screen. And that's the goal. So we started, COVID helped, right? Because all the online tools got really cool, so we can schedule meetings, we can target them, people can share screen, touch through the screen, they can create queue by raising hands, and like all the online cool tools that are there help, so people can actually try things. And the greatest thing about the review is that it's intent by the team. So in this case, we have Team Hound who are just implementing authorization flow for the SumDrive. And SumDrive just sucks in this. The interface is terrible. And they are not sure if this is good enough for the general usage. So they will bring it to hands-on review with the intent of confirming their solution for this. So the team, at the time of planning, 2 weeks before they're showing it, they say what will be shown and the intent how to review it. And then the rest of the company, like, we're there to help them find the right people who will do that. And because this is priority item, team ends, is the other box, team ends, again, a real team, they will help them with some other work, but this one doesn't need that hands-on review. Like, this is obvious, like you store a file and it's there. So they will perhaps take it for the review next time. So really, the team owns the solution and they learn. No, team owns the problem. So with the goals, business understanding is super important because it supports also scalability, right? The driving team, they own the problem. They need to understand the business. They need to be connected with the customer as much as we can, whoever the customer is. Our sprint reviews are really optimized to have conversation, not about that one increment necessarily, but even look into the near future. See what will be next. Is it the most valuable thing? This is where they learn. And the last one, Team Hound volunteered that they will deliver this piece of the product. They chose it. Out of all the other options, there were many more things. They chose that this will be the thing that they will do, so they own it. They really own the solution. We have strict volunteering on anything. In my 4 years that I'm at my Robin PO position, we've never had to force anybody to do anything. People are still willing to pick up misery, and people are still willing to think about where their team wants to move and pick the right things to learn this. And still have time for questions, so last recap. It's adaptability, it's scalability, business understanding, and ownership that help us build software at scale. Yeah, I'm ready for questions.